5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We about to have a blast today.
Hello, all you happy people.
Let's do a junkie roll call.
Sound off like you got a pair.
The great Daddy Coogee.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of?
She probably still got an old school TV.
Why do you say this to me?
I'm the only girl, so I wanted to do anything that my brothers were doing.
Oh, yeah, you blend.
She's cute too, huh?
Indeed!
That's fine. Just give us a second.
She with you?
The film was just lazy. Like I said, they like vision.
But you got to have vision.
I'm a big JRPG person.
We've just lost half the audience.
Supposed to be full. Oh, why?
But he'd have to be fast. I'm your man. No, you're not. You're too slow.
It ain't just about being fast.
I did not see one Asian in that movie.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
It's a business. Who cares about the people's feelings?
Aim for the bushes. I could do this all day.
I got big boy pants on.
We're back with Culture Junkies Live, and we got a pretty good show for you in store today. Today's Tuesday, obviously, but today we're going to talk about some anime and what we liked the most about what makes an anime classic, I guess you could say. What goes into making a really, really good anime? What goes into making this thing, really awesome? So for the purposes of the show, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I mean, we're having some technical difficulties, guys. Should we just start over? I'm going to just start over.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We about to have a blast today.
Hello, all you happy people.
Let's do a junkie roll call.
Sound off like you got a pair.
The great Daddy Coogee.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of?
She probably still got an old school TV.
Why do you say this to me?
I'm the only girl, so I wanted to do anything that my brothers were doing.
Oh, yeah, you blend.
She's cute too, huh?
Indeed!
That's fine. Just give us a second.
She with you?
The film was just lazy. Like I said, they like vision.
But you got to have vision.
I'm a big JRPG person.
We've just lost half the audience.
Supposed to be full. Oh, why?
But he'd have to be fast. I'm your man. No, you're not. You're too slow.
It ain't just about being fast.
I did not see one Asian in that movie.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
It's a business. Who cares about the people's feelings?
Aim for the bushes. I could do this all day.
I got big boy pants on.
Hey out there, junkies. Sorry about that. It's Kenshiro. We're back with Culture Junkies Live. Had a few little technical difficulties. We'll compensate by going over a little bit. But today we're going to talk about anime, and specifically what I wanted to talk about was what makes an anime classic. It was a discussion that came up last week. Why aren't some of the newer fans of anime watching some of the older stuff that we kind of grew up with? Because anime is just changed. It's different. It's not the way it used to be. But anyway, before we jump in, let me show you who's going to be on the show today. We got the big Kahuna. He's joining the show. What's up, man? One second. A few more difficulties. I don't know why. Just a few more. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, we're still live. Go ahead, Dido. What's up, man? As always. So, and GQ is also going to be on the show today, guys. I know he's not here. He will be here. But let's get to it. Who is or what makes an anime classic, in you guys' opinion? While I, work out some of the technical difficulties, and hopefully we get it back going. But to you, what makes an anime classic? What made an anime classic to you, Dido?
We got
back then, because like anime wasn't so saturated, I guess if you would say, as it is now. Because now you just go to a website and you got everything coming out the exact same time, same day as it is in Japan. And back then, if you were lucky, you got some great stuff. Other things you had to seek out for, fan sub style. And when I say fan sub, kids, people out there, that means somebody lived in Japan, recorded the video, sent it to somebody in the United States who took the time, had the equipment and the know-how to subtitle it for us to watch. That's how we got the stuff back then. We had conventions. You used to be able to buy videotapes with the commercials in it that were fan subbed. But now you just Crunchyroll.
I think somewhere I still got some old Dragon Ball Z bootlegs. I was king of those, man.
Oh
yeah,
man,
that's how I cut my teeth on the Dragon Ball Z bootleg movies.
Remember back in the day, going on the floor of Motor City Comic Con, and you would see the the dealer tables were just lined with bootleg videotapes, with Dragon Ball, with covers of Dragon Ball, and that's where we found Ninja Gaiden was out there at Motor City Comic Con, where they had
Dragon Ball, Yu Yu
Hakusho and stuff like that. But that's not what this discussion is about. Hey GQ, what's going on, man?
Not too much, just here being me.
Right. So what made it to you? What made it awesome to you? The what's it called? What made anime awesome to you back in the day? Like what attracted you to it? Like what made it awesome?
Well, what stood out for anime for me was obviously we all grew up around the same time. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats. Then all of a sudden along came Voltron, and it was like, well, a little bit different than look weirder, the action and craziness going on. And once it's kind of like, you obviously at the time we didn't know we were watching anime, we thought we were just watching 8 different cartoons. And then once I got a hold of in later years, Fist of the North Star, Akira, some of the old classics of the old guard,
right?
It was like, oh, okay, I like this. They do stuff that like cartoons would never ever do. And it became interesting.
And that's what it was. That's what hooked you, is that it was stuff that we had never seen before, done in animation wise. Because of course we had Voltron, like you alluded to, but Voltron in going back in the way it was tame. I mean, the uncut Voltron isn't tame, but the version that we got, even Robotech was tame. But then when we got older and we saw, like you said, Akira, then we saw, Ninja Scroll, then we saw Ninja Gaiden, this stuff was mature. It was, it had horror, it was blood, it was guts, it was, sometimes it was sex, it was action, everything that, a teenage kid would want. And Dido, you can speak to this too, because one of your favorites was an off-color or an offbeat anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. And when you saw that, you kind of lost your mind. You became like a super fan of it. Now, of course, there's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventures in, that's out now, but it's not like it was even back then. Wouldn't you say? Because compare and contrast today's anime to back in the past. What's different? What's missing?
Well, see, the thing is that my understanding is a lot of the stuff that we watched back then were either OVAs, for people who don't know, as original animated videos, or movies. You didn't get the TV shows. Not very much of the TV shows. You started to get them a little bit in the later 90s, but in the early 90s, late 80s, you weren't getting the TV shows over here. You were getting the OVAs and movies. And a lot of those were extremely violent because they could put more stuff in there. They weren't being shown on television. Even though the Japanese censors are a little bit different than they are over here, you weren't getting Ninja Scroll on television. That's not happening. It was never happening. That was a movie. So a lot of the stuff that we learned to like was uncut, unadulterated, blood, guts, naked women. You have it.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on now is like we're seeing more TV shows. If there are OVAs going on out there, I'm not really aware of it because the streaming is so strong nowadays. But like as you mentioned, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I found out in the mid to late 90s, it's still violent. It's bloody as shit. most of the stuff that is it's not really cut. When it comes on television now, when it's really bloody, they'll put a black like shadow over whatever they're trying to hold. But when it supposedly comes out on video, whatnot, that shadow is not there because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure still does not stray away from the violence at all. It's just that the censors put that shadow over there, so you can't really see what the heck is going on. So, like if somebody's hand gets cut off, what you see it get cut off, you just see a shadow over the hand, or if somebody is in an explosion, the blood on them looks black because they're not trying to show, because it is on television. But a lot of this stuff is just because it's so saturated, so much stuff that's coming out there. There are not as many just violent stuff. I mean, there are. You just got to know how to look for. You got to know what to see the violent stuff. Most of the stuff that's popular is the stuff that is going to make the most money, and it's not the violent stuff. It's the stuff for kids.
But didn't they,
so that's what's the difference.
Didn't they, with JoJo's, one part of the censorship was they even censored like them smoking? Wasn't that one of the things that kind of came out as well?
Yeah, there was a part that was, if I remember correctly, in one of the Stardust Crusaders, I believe there was a character that was smoking, and they put the black shadow over that as well. But again, I think, like I said, I think it's just because it's on TV over there, and their censors may not be as lenient as we always thought, because Ranma One Half, which is an 80s TV show, cartoon, anime, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it anime. Excuse me, are you anime files out there? I'm sorry I called it a cartoon.
Yeah, don't do that.
But it had nudity in it.
Yeah,
but the nudity was from Ranma, and Ranma was a dude, even though he turned into a female when he got touched by water.
By cold water.
I think
cold water. Got cold water.
He was a dude.
Right. It was cold water that turned Ranma into a girl.
Hold on now.
Cold water turned him into a female.
As Philip would say, though, I mean, you kind of already put it in that decade of cocaine and nudity. In the 80s,
so you're saying Rumiko Takahashi was high when she made Ranma or something, right? She must have been high.
Maybe she was snorting it up, man. Who knows?
No, don't do that.
That was a cool show, but I mean,
it was.
You had to have been on something to come up with that whole premise, because that was a little bit crazy.
You know, and maybe
it was a cool show though.
Right, it was a cool show, and you know, to Dido's point on how they would censor stuff, I think it goes beyond that. I think in today's anime, what we're seeing is it's become, and this is just me, one of the things that I see is that it's become extremely formulaic, where you can pretty much pick out all of the story beats based off of the type of story that it is. Okay, is it going to follow down this path? You know, this girl is going to like this boy. You know, this guy is going to hate this girl. He's also going to be after the heroine. You know, it follows a script, and you know, you can pick out the script before it even happens, and you pretty much know, and it kind of lessens the entertainment value. You know, and another thing I wanted to, and Kahuna, you tell me if you notice this as well. You mean, even though you don't watch as much anime, but they're overly silly nowadays. Whereas they don't need to be. It was like everything is a freaking joke. Everything's played for a gag. Everything's played for laughs. Would you say that, Dido and GQ and Kahuna, that's pretty much true?
No.
Yeah, that's kind of what made me kind of fall out of anime a little bit, was that, you know, the ones we grew up with, they were pretty serious. You know, action, this and that. Now they're kind of, a lot of it is silly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always some kind of little, you know, joke going on or something like that. And it's just real silly, like, and it kind of why I fell out of it now.
Now,
and another reason why I fell out of it.
Let me interject.
So many of it now.
Let him fit. Okay, go ahead, Dido.
I'm sorry. I can understand some of the stuff that you're seeing, and I don't know if you're watching the stuff that's coming on the television. I don't know if you're watching, you know, Toonami or what have you, but there's quite a few even, and I don't know where certain things fall in that category, but like just me recently of watching a few things that come to mind that I found that it came out over here recently. Dead Man's Wonderland. That was not silly. That shit was violent as all get out. Mm-hmm. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. Elfen Lied. That's a newer one, technically. I mean, it was not the time we were growing up. We were already in our 20s, probably mid-20s when that one came out, maybe late 20s. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm watching this one right now called Roka and the Six. What's it called? Roka and the Braves of the Six or something like that. And I'm only 4 episodes in, and I've not seen anything silly at all. And there's been freaking, even though they're monsters, the monsters, they're getting their heads cut off and blood's, you know, all over the place. And so far, it's not seeming like it's a silly one at all. So, I mean, it depends on, like I said, what is going to be put on television. The stuff that's going to be put on television is going to be a little bit lighter hearted. Besides Cowboy Bebop, which is, to me, probably the best anime, and I'm so happy that they put it on television. I can't really think of anything that was on television that would fall in the category of seriousness. Most of it has a little lightheartedness, like Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star, great anime, came out in the late 90s. It's, I guess you can consider it a classic. They put it on Toonami.
Right.
It had, I mean, the amount of seriousness in it was very minute. It didn't have any killing, from my understanding. There was no blood in it. No, it was a good show, but it had its silly moments, most definitely. And Cowboy Bebop had to be edited because it did have the blood and shooting and the violence in it, that they had to edit this stuff. So, I mean, it really depends on the marketability of it. And unfortunately, those, like, I fell out of anime for a bit, right? And I was just like, I was almost in the same point as you guys. I was just like, there's nothing out there I want to see. I'm not, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then my buddy, you guys may know him as Hand of Omega, started saying, like, look, you're just not looking for this stuff. And I was like, you know what? He started showing me stuff. I started looking for stuff. I started finding about the streaming services like Crunchyroll and Kiss Anime, and the stuff that we were used to watching.
There's a crap ton, and possibly, you know, Miaoyin's over in the chat on Facebook, and she's saying that I'm just watching the wrong stuff. Maybe there's something to that, but at the same time, you can't ignore that the majority of what's being presented, you know, maybe it's just a fact of the matter is that the stuff that we used to watch back in the day, that was the cream of the crop, the, you know, the diamonds in the rough, the surefire hits. And now that we're, you know, everything is like fully released and we can see everything, there's a whole bunch of crap that you kind of got to filter through in order to really find the really, really good stuff. Now, there's one show that came out this past summer that I watched that I absolutely fell in love with. It's ReZero, and you watched it too. Oh yeah, ReZero was awesome. I mean, yeah, it wasn't totally silly, but I mean, it had a whole bunch of surprises. It like threw a bunch of you know, unexpected things at you that you didn't expect, and that really captured me. And you know, I'm watching Berserk too. Berserk is another one, and that brings up another point I wanted to get to. And GQ, I wanted to bring you in on this as well to talk about this. It may be something that you're interested in, maybe something that you're not. Berserk is absolutely over the top, bloody, gory, gutsy. You know, there's violence everywhere. Here's the drawback: it's 3D generated / 2D anime. Now, Dido's seen those movies. I don't know if you've seen them. I think we've told you about them. But that also kind of presents an interesting take, because I'm seeing from Berserk, that could be the future of animation. What would you say if animation became all 3D cell shaded? Kind of similar to the way Dragon Ball Xenoverse, the game, is like.
That'd be a horrible idea. I guess they'd be able to get them done faster, because essentially plugging it into the computer, telling them to animate and go. But you lose something there. I mean, and even bring it over to video games real quick. The latest King of Fighters lost something because they went to that 3D design, and it just, the art style was like, it was, for me, 13 was a masterpiece because it was a hand drawn, like, perfect. The game looked great. Yeah, it took forever for them to make, but so it was great. Anime is the same thing. It's like there's something to be said when you have in there, you know, even American animation is the same thing. It's like when you could tell when they go 3D animation for certain things, and it doesn't work. It's like it needs to be hand drawn. You need to have that extra, you know, step in there, because there's just certain nuances that hand drawn is going to have that you cannot replicate properly in the animation. Unless you're on like Pixar's level, or you know, maybe the people that do the 3D CG work for Tekken. It's like, you know, most of the time, if you're doing it for a cartoon series, or excuse me, anime series, that's going to be on weekly or a couple episodes maybe or even daily, you don't got time for that. So unfortunately, 3D animation is kind of the new wave, but I mean it's kind of a lost. I don't know. You lose something with that. Also coming out of the chat real quick, Marcus Smith is saying he's late, but One Punch Man. He's late to the One Punch Man party, so apparently he's liking that one. Baki the Grappler, which I know was one of Daido and also
one of mine.
One of our tops is one of his, and also Kenshiro,
Really
you guys' favorites. So I mean, there's a lot of like classics that were good. A lot of them fell in the OVA range. For example, Tengo Tenge was like Tenjo Tenge was my favorite one.
I wonder why.
Relatively new crop. It was good because it was a martial arts thing that had like awesome chicks in it. It's like
yeah,
the anime was cool.
Yeah,
so,
it was. It was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to like the old stuff, I think the reason it was so good for us then is because it was like Ninja Scroll came out, the show came out, like all of these things came out, and they were all one shots. It wasn't us chasing after tapes. Remember tapes back in the day? It wasn't us chasing after tapes, like Dragon Ball. We liked Dragon Ball just because we liked Dragon Ball. But like the movies, when the movies dropped, it was perfect because it was like boom.
Movie 7.
Boom. Exactly. Movie 7 was
everybody's
intro for that one.
Yes.
So it's like when the OAVs and this one-shot movies to me is the generation I liked because of the fact that and Daido will attest to this. It's not like a comic book where you have to track down 600 issues to understand everything that's going on. It's boom,
all
2
right
hours
there,
or hour and a half or whatever it is. Here it is. And I think that's part of the reason I can't get into Naruto and even Bleach and even even though they're good,
they take too long.
There's too many episodes to go into.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Dragon Ball. It's like I've already done that before. With Dragon Ball, you guys. So I don't want to do it again.
That's why I don't think they're gonna do a lot of those types of things anymore. Like those really super long series, like One Piece and Naruto. No, I'm sorry. I was late to the One Piece party, and I'm this far behind. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even with the manga.
Still going on?
Yes,
One Piece is still going on, dude.
The Naruto anime.
I sit down and binge,
dude.
And then I'll stop and let it build back up.
Right. The Naruto manga. The Naruto manga ended like almost 2 years ago. The Naruto manga almost ended 2 years ago. The anime is just now getting close to the end. Just now. 2 years later, after like maybe 2 or 3 seasons of nothing but filler episodes. It's just ending, and the manga ended 2 years ago. I mean, that kind of stuff takes a commitment that I don't want to be bothered with. I mean, seriously, I don't want to be bothered with. Now, I want to ask all you junkies out there. We're gonna move on to another topic and get to some other stuff. But I want to see in the chat. We're gonna come back to it later. What makes an anime classic to you? Put it in the comments below, please. So, guys, we all went to go see Magnificent Seven this past weekend. I wanted to kind of briefly talk about how good that movie was. What did we like about Magnificent Seven? GQ?
I liked it because, again, I mean, it's obviously a retelling of a retelling. The original was Seven Samurai, Kurosawa film. Then, of course, remade before we were all born as the Magnificent Seven with Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, and I think a couple of the other hot actors at the time. So now again, it's our generation's version of the Magnificent Seven. And Denzel, you can't go wrong. Dude has, as far as I know, once he became a megastar, has not done a bad movie yet. And that's a long track record of doing damn good work. Yep. Chris Pratt was awesome. I had mistakenly thought that Josh Brolin was in it. I was wrong. Ethan Hawke was just channeling his inner Josh Brolin look in that film. But his character was different. He shocked me because I thought it was going to go one way and they went a completely different direction, which is fine. They're doing what they're doing. By-Yun Lee, I believe his name is. I could be completely wrong on that.
Young-Hyun Lee, that's right. No, that's right.
Yep.
He was good. He was really good.
Oh man, was D'Onofrio though?
D'Onofrio.
He was
classic.
That was my standout character right there.
Yeah, man. D'Onofrio was awesome.
But he's always a standout guy.
He is.
It's like you expect him to be one way, and then he's just like, nope, 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 going this way, and you're gonna love it, and you love it. So it's like the dude did outstanding. Peter Sarsgaard, also very good villain.
He's always a good villain.
Yeah, it could have been a little more sinister, but I mean, again, it is what it is. You know, they probably, honestly, if you look at that, they probably only had him for a couple of days because he wasn't in the movie like throughout the whole movie. It was more or less about the team. So I mean, it was a good movie, though.
Kahuna, what'd you like about Magnificent Seven, real quick, and you too, Dido? What'd you like about the movie?
Mine was D'Onofrio. You know, that's my dude right there. What it is, you know what I like about him? Okay, like Denzel, great. Pratt was awesome. You know, everybody was awesome. Denzel, he's always Denzel, but he's so fucking good at it that, you know, you don't mind Denzel's acting because it's just top notch. Pratt is kind of always Pratt, but he plays that very well too. D'Onofrio, when D'Onofrio acts, he is gone into that character. You never see Vincent D'Onofrio, whatever he acts in, the character he plays, you never see Vincent D'Onofrio. He's always a totally different person. And that's what I love about him. And he was awesome. That voice was hilarious that he did. Like I wondered,
I'm not even going to try and emulate that voice.
Yeah, it was like I I wonder how much of a strain did that put on his vocal cords to do that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, man.
But everybody was great. But yeah, D'Onofrio was my standout character.
And Dido,
as I pretty much knew that it was going to be.
What'd you like about it, Dido?
Well, Kahuna over there basically said everything I was going to say, because like when GQ's rattling off the characters, I was very surprised he didn't mention D'Onofrio, because I thought he was a standout big time. As soon as I saw him, I was just like, there he is. Whoa. Like, I don't know. Just like exactly what he said. I enjoy everything that he's in. And it's like true acting for me. I mean, though you know it's him, unlike the chameleon, the greatest chameleon actor, Gary Oldman, he, I believe, is also a chameleon actor, even though you know it's him.
From his face or anything like that, yeah.
You can't change his, his look, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, you can change his look, but because of his size or what have you, know it's him. But just the characters that he does and everything. I mean, Men in Black, if you look at Full Metal Jacket, if you look at the freaking even Daredevil, it's like this guy
is Kingpin. Flawless, dude. I'm sorry. His Kingpin.
Yeah, his Kingpin was just they're all amazing. So like he was the character for me that I was just like, man, this guy is an awesome actor, and I hope they put him in more stuff. But I enjoyed the movie completely as a whole, and I want to go back and watch the original one again, because I want to see how
what changed, what was different.
How it fared. I mean, because I really like this one, and I usually do not give a care about remakes. At all.
I did too.
Best GQ, remake.
Catch us up on what's going on over in Facebook before we switch gears again.
On what?
In Facebook, the Facebook chat. What's going on over in Facebook?
Well, Marcus Smith said D'Onofrio had him chuckling throughout the entire film. Loved his character. Marcus Pryor is showing us a very nice anime collection there that includes Street Fighter V. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Street Fighter.
Gonna burn some muscle. Gonna burn some muscle.
Right. Man. The original time they used the title.
Yes.
Jaquette, who also was at the movie with us.
Yeah, Q went to see it with us. Yeah.
He said the cast made the movie for him, and I agree 100%. And that was a great ensemble cast. Marcus Smith said Ethan Hawke was fun as Goodnight, which he was definitely. They're also mentioning a anime called Case Closed.
Oh yes,
900 plus episodes.
Yep, Detective Conan. Yes, it is 900 plus episodes. The manga is still going too. Go-Go 13's manga is still going, even though he started back in the 50s. So even though he doesn't have as many anime
he's
episodes,
He's had like a series or two. Maybe.
He's had a series. He's had like 2 or 3 movies. Yeah. A live action movie starring Sonny Chiba. So hey, I'll never turn down Duke Togo though.
I'm not knocking him. I mean, they need to bring him back and go
speaking
ahead
of that,
Scott Adkins to play him.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Yes, definitely. He can do Togo. I think Megashawn would approve. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say just like GQ said too. I also did like Ethan Hawke, because Ethan Hawke for me, he's always kind of like the same guy in all his movies. The way he acts. This one he was different in Magnificent Seven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I enjoyed that too. And then my favorite line was when Pratt, when they first meet Jack Horn, who's D'Onofrio's character, and he said, "It's a bear in people clothes."
Yes,
like,
yes, indeed.
Huge dude, huge hairy dude.
Yeah,
and that line was like perfect.
Yeah,
because the thing that got me with that, and I apologize in advance if I'm halfway spoiling it for anybody. He reminded me so much of Dan Aykroyd from was it Caddyshack or was it one of the other movies? And he that type of voice. He sounded almost. They were sounding.
Yes, it was Caddyshack. Yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah, it was Caddyshack.
Dude, I was sitting there like, I heard that, but then
I hadn't even thought about that.
Dude, but it's so perfect.
It is.
It's so perfect because it's like that is the last sound I expect to hear come from a dude that's like 6'4", solid 3 at least. So it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Because I've actually met people. Who are huge like that, and as soon as they talk, you're like, "What the fuck?" He's like, you do a triple take, like,
right?
Did that just come out of your body?
It's almost like Mike Tyson. It's like when you see Mike Tyson, he's got this big, superimposing figure, and he's got this, he's here, I'm gonna talk like this, totally throws you off. Totally throws you off. GQ, mind the Facebook chat if you don't mind. Nobody else seems to be talking on YouTube and Twitch for whatever reason. But mind the Facebook chat for to answer my question about what makes an anime classic, and then we'll come back. Of course, this week we have the second week of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think we're supposed to learn who the director is today. That's one thing that's actually coming on in a couple of hours. And I think also, of course, Friday is Luke Cage. We got another Luke Cage trailer yesterday. Oh my God, Luke Cage might be the hypest Netflix series. I'm telling you, it might be the hypest Netflix Marvel series we're ever going to see. This thing,
I feel like I'm just going to be bobbing my head throughout the whole.
Yeah, man. I mean, for real, man. I mean, didn't have it like when Method Man showed up in the trailer, dude, and saying PLO style was his favorite. Dude, come on, man.
And I've always liked Method Man as an actor.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, he never seems like he's acting like himself. Like he seems like he has the talent. He has the natural acting talent.
Because usually when you cast a rapper in a movie, they're still the rapper, like the way they talk and everything. But Method Man, he's
looking at you, RZA.
Oh my, oh man, oh yeah, oh. Thanks for that sobering thought. Thank you for that sobering thought, man.
Out of the chat.
Yeah.
Well, Brian McGee is saying that he agrees that Cowboy Bebop is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Smith couldn't get into Cowboy Bebop, but don't judge him.
The music alone will hook you, man. So give it another try.
Yeah, no, Brian McGee, he's asking when Luke Cage is coming out. It comes out this Friday on Netflix. But it's not so much a watching TV thing. It's if you have Netflix, you can watch the entire. They're dropping the whole thing on Friday, right?
Yes.
As all the Netflix series comes out, they usually come out at 3 a.m.
And dude, I'm watching as much as I can. I swear, before I gotta go to work. I'm getting off work early that day, and don't bother me because I'm watching that whole thing.
They come out. They come out 3 a.m. in the morning, I believe, because Netflix
has a crush on Method Man, apparently.
LA?
Miao-Yen's got a crush on Method Man, she said.
That's what it looks like. No girl ever uses 4 hearts unless it's a crush.
Very true.
Miao-Yen calls it her cheergasm.
Cheergasm, yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Marcus Smith is saying, as far as anime being a classic, it depends on the characters for him or the story, which I can definitely agree with.
I can agree with that. I think Miao-Yen said something earlier about saying, how does it stand up during the test of time? Now, some of the anime today, 2 years from now, I'm probably not even going to remember.
I don't know about that one.
What'd he say? What'd you say? GQ, what'd you say Marcus Smith said? Couldn't hear you.
He said he liked the opening theme of Cowboy Bebop, but that was about it.
That's it? Oh my man, come on.
The opening stolen theme song.
Yeah, okay. We're not gonna get into that because
you know what it is about anime for me is that, like, when I was young, kind of grew up watching it, so I was into it. And back then it wasn't that much anime to watch.
Yeah.
There was only like a few animes to watch, so you got to watch them all.
Right.
After I fell out of it, it's kind of like comics with me. I fell out of comics for a while, fell out of anime for a while.
Yeah.
So now when I want to get back into it, it's so saturated and it's so much. It's like double dutch. I don't know when to jump in.
I think like we tried to tell you before. I think it's with everything, like with comics, with games, with anime. You kind of gotta start somewhere. Kind of pick something like know what you're into, and then go for something similar to like that. Go for that. I'm sure Dido and I can hook you up with a few.
What was it? Wasn't it this past summer when a bunch of anime dropped, like new series
that were pretty good? Yeah, I mean, well, they come out every single season. Like there's fall anime, there's winter anime, and I think there's spring summer anime too.
Yeah, we did a show like this past summer, I believe, because there were like 12 or 13 different shows that started. It's that I guess I don't have the patience to filter through, just because I haven't been in it for a while. I don't have the patience to filter through to see which ones are good.
I agree.
So I guess I gotta get suggestions.
Dido, you've been quiet for a while. I didn't get your take on Luke Cage. What most are you looking forward to with Luke Cage? Because me and Kahuna kind of went over it already. What are you looking forward to with Luke Cage?
Well, I look forward to it to be a good show, which I believe it will be. Just the way my ideology is nowadays is that I try not to look at any trailers. I just don't want to see it anymore. I just want to watch the show. And I'm hyped up to watch it. I don't think I'm gonna watch it at 3 a.m. because I'm gonna be tired as shit. But Saturday, as long as the missus is okay with me not going anywhere.
I like how he looked up to the heavens. I liked how he looked up to the heavens when he did that. He's like, I know. That's nice.
if we don't have anything that's pressing, but then again, it's not really going anywhere. I just kind of want to watch it, so I'm not behind like everybody else, because everybody's gonna start talking about it, and blah. I want to be able to watch it because I love Daredevil. I love Jessica Jones. I love friggin' the hell's the other one?
I hate being like I hate being like this, but I have to be like this. I feel like Luke Cage is going to be transcended because it's a majority African American cast. It's set in Harlem. It's about a black, especially in the time and the climate that we live in. It's about an indestructible black man. You cannot kill him with bullets. There's going to be bullets bouncing all over Luke. He's grabbing guns point blank. Bullets are bouncing right off of him. Man, I mean, dude, this thing might catapult.
There's definitely going to be a bigger audience for this.
Yes, I mean, this thing might transcend every Marvel TV series we've had so far. Mike Coulter might end up becoming a cultural icon because of this TV show. I'm just calling my shot. That's the way I see it. Anybody got any comments on that?
Maybe.
Go ahead.
It's going to depend. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to see a bulletproof black man.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it goes.
Triggering intensifies. White America out there.
I don't know. I think honestly, it's not. You can't just call it white America. It's just America in general.
All right. My bad. But
no, it's I think it'll be interesting. I mean, again, it's a continuation of sorts. There's an interracial relationship with him and Jessica Jones, so that messes with some people. But hey, guess what? It's 2016. Go back to the 50s if you can't handle that. So I mean, let's just be realistic. Right. It's dealing with the world as it is now, not back in the 70s when Luke Cage originally came out. So I like it. I think it's going to be a good step forward because you guys aren't getting Daredevil back until 2018 anyway.
That's so long.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts so bad. But hey, we know we're gonna get Iron Fist and we're gonna get the Defenders, so maybe that'll tide us over. But I want more Matt Murdock. I have to tell you, I do. What were you gonna say, Kuna?
But yeah, and that soundtrack for this series is so dope.
God, so that's gonna be so dope.
That's what's really making it even better.
Everything about this show screams absolute success, dude. Marvel can't. I don't even want to keep saying it, but Marvel can't lose, man. Marvel can't lose. I'm sorry, man. I don't want to. Hater Dave might call me, you know, biased or whatever, but it's the truth, man. Marvel can't lose, dude. It's like hit after hit after hit. I just anyway,
here's what it is.
They got a good
It's not
track
so
record.
much that they can't
Go ahead,
lose.
GQ. Go ahead.
It's, you know, it's not even just that. It's essentially is they planned it well. They didn't like from Iron Man, beginning with Iron Man, they had a plan laid in place, and Iron Man was the spark that ignited the flame. It was like, look, can we do this? Can we, you know, have a connected universe, you know, through the films? Now, obviously, like Dido has said in the past, he'd like to see more interaction between Netflix and the shows and films. But this, I mean, just from a legal standpoint, I guess there's really only so much you can do on that front. But it still shows what happens when you have an overarching plan run pretty much by one dude. So not like, you know, this person here trying to put their input in this. It's like, yes, you're going to accept input, but Kevin Feige sits down with every single director on all of this stuff and gets it done. So, I mean, I think that's why Marvel is doing so well in that. Now, people have their nitpicks and stuff here and there, and that's fine, but plan is working, and it's working very well.
Very true.
And look at the characters that they're making these hits with. These weren't really mainstream characters, except for the people who were into comics.
These were C&D-listers, man.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
A lot of people know, Daredevil, but Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, a lot of people don't know who these people are. The Defenders, Iron Fist. These aren't mainstream characters, but they're bringing them out and they're making them mainstream characters.
Yeah,
and they're making them awesome.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I know we went over because we started a little bit late, had some technical difficulties. I want to apologize for that. We're definitely going to get it nailed out, and it sounds good now. We're going to keep it sounding good. Next week the premieres The Flash is next week. Everybody's going to be looking forward to that. I think we're going to devote some time to talking about The Flash. We're also real quick before I got out of here, I want to mention that you guys should scroll down our Facebook feed. You'll see some links to some really cool stuff, our Instagram, but also there was a YouTube video I shared of the clip that they showed of Superman and Supergirl from the October 10th premiere episode of Supergirl, cut to the John Williams Superman score. I'm telling you, that thing gives you goosebumps. As a Superman fan, it was great. So anyway, guys, we hope you guys, thank you for enjoying for watching with us. We had about 20-25 people watching. It was great. Invite your friends back next time. Follow us on Twitter. We're gonna start doing a lot more Twitch stuff too. Dido's doing stuff, Sev is doing stuff, Josh is doing stuff, I'm doing stuff. We want everybody to start doing stuff, and follow us on Twitch and also on YouTube, because we're doing some really fun stuff. But for the guys, for GQ, for Kahuna, and for Dido Kuji, I'm Kashiro. We'll see you guys next week, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday. Have a great week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody. Peace out. And I got a new top 5 coming out this week. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see it. YouTube.
Yes,
Culture
sir.
Junkies.
Yes, sir.
Top 5.
You know what they say.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.